Alright, hello. I'm going to do something slightly different. Well, no, it will be what will be typical for this channel, I hope, in the future. So anyway, I've been working on glitter. I haven't been making any posts because nobody watches these videos at the moment, because I think the major thing is this has to be released first before anybody actually gets excited about it. And the good thing is we're pretty much at the point where it's releasable. So I've added some new features and I have fixed up some things. Still to be done is just a bit more with the code support, and also the icons in some places are going to be replaced because I didn't draw these, I stole them. So the final version, well, the first released version will just have really badly drawn things like this. So anyway, we're going to set the font size to that. We're going to make a new project. So today we are going to test out how well it works and find some bugs. And we're going to do this by doing first for me, well, not first, but a first in a long time, of actually trying to use this program, this app, to make something useful. So we're going to make a Space Invaders game. We'll see how it goes. I haven't got all day to do this, but we'll start. So we're going to start a new project. We'll go here and we're going to call it Space Invaders. Space Invaders. Me. My name is Matthew. I'm not quite ready to say my full name yet. And we don't have to worry about the error bars stuff. Alright, so there's going to be a lot of things in this project, I think. So the other thing I have to do, of course, is make a web page and have some documentation, but lots of things are going to be hidden away for a while. Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure it used to create a new default sprite, but it doesn't anymore. So we're going to make a new sprite. We'll go here and we're going to change its name to player, and we'll give the variable. So one thing that doesn't really scale properly, but that's okay. And we'll call it player. We'll just call it player 1. Alright, and so it starts off and we have a lovely blue square. So we're going to clear image. So some of the new things is this. Oh, that's actually part of the history now. I haven't actually tested. Oh, I've just realized something. So one thing I've been working on recently is getting all the graphical editor stuff to work. As you can see, the icons don't match up with what they should. They should have little white squares on them to show that these are the structured drawing tools and these are the straight drawing tools. We'll just start off. I'm going to need a guide. So I haven't shown the guide stuff yet, but we put on the guide. It makes a little square around the middle that's 32 by 32 pixels. We might make the player 40 by 40, and we can show the origin as well. And there's some snap options, but I haven't actually looked at those for a while. It does have an annoying snapping problem that I have with one of the few things left to fix. We're gonna draw our little spaceship in. So there's nothing to. So some things will have more inspector options. At the moment, I think only the lines actually have anything come up here. That was all written years ago, but I haven't got around to integrating it back into the project. I'm not drawing a very good spaceship. It doesn't have to be that good. We should make it not pixel up. And we'll go there, and then we'll go. Should make the whole thing red. Alright, we're going to put one little one there, and we're going to put one there, and then we'll bring that down. I think you can actually line these up. I can't remember. If you click on the right mouse button. So this is a line to so there were some options. I don't know if those work anymore. The delete does. And oh gosh. Oh, something's gone wrong. No pointer exception. Wow, there's your first error. General scale. Okay, so we've got an error. That's all right. Hopefully it will continue working and we won't be wasting our time. I'm going to just draw the... Oh, I should have changed the color. That's all right. What we can do is we can just go back to the previous thing. You can do undo and redo. That icon there, I don't know, like I think I've just changed my mind. I've redone some new undo and redo things, but now you can actually just jump into any particular position. So we'll go there, and I was going to change it to... so that's one thing I have to change. So I do have it that way. So I wanted to have, like, it's a bit weird, right? So I have the primary and the sub colors, and the sub only comes in for this. Like, I've been thinking, well, do I want it that the main color in the middle is red? Like, it's red here, and then you go here, and then you have yellow on the outside. But in some tools, it would be red on the outside and yellow on the inside. So that's going to be a preference option because honestly, I don't really know which is the best way to go. So we'll just change what color is a good spaceship. We can't spend all day making spaceships. I don't want to have yellow. We'll have black. Not quite black. You're not supposed to use straight black, apparently. So there we go. And then we will finish that one, and then we'll make a new... It always starts with an upside down triangle, which is the most useful shape, I think we can all agree to have. I don't want to spend all day doing terrible art. You can't do curves, so this tool has almost no way to do anything that's rounded except for drawing ovals. Alright, so that's my little spaceship. We'll just quickly throw in some random... So this is the thing, I think, actually, it should be the other way around. Having used this, it makes a bit more sense. So we will change... we can do one thing. So one thing you can do, it doesn't have a direct pen tool, but you can right mouse click on something and pick up the color under the cursor. So if I right mouse click there, so we're going to just draw some lines and some lines there, and we're going to draw a little cockpit thing, which almost certainly I should have done not with that. Make it white. Oh, I moved that over there. Okay, and then use, and then that can fill that. That doesn't look anything. Oh, we need to have some fire. Right. Okay. And so we will go red. It's not quite the shape that I was aiming for. Oops, I filled it in by accident. Hold on. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? It didn't do the clear. So that's another little bug. For some reason... Alright. I want to delete. This is not going... Okay. 1, 2, 3... Fill. So this makes the operation just clear everything. So if you click on the delete thing, we're getting a few little quirks coming through. Well, that's all right. And then we're going to go and we're going to pick that. So, and for some reason it's still on erase. Okay. Yeah, we haven't changed the color. So working out the best semantic. So when you undo, it always goes back to what the color choice was when you undid. I might make it that you can... Oh my gosh. And it changes the mode back. That what will happen is it doesn't change the color mode. It just goes back to the previous mode, the previous mode, but not changing any of these things. And then if you want, you can right mouse click with something over here, and then you can switch to the what you were using, because that's actually kind of annoying. All right, this is not going to be animated, so that's that. And then we'll fill it in with yellow. All right, that's... Oh no, I've gone and lost all the extra information. Alright, well now we've got the extra line. So you can go back into the future. This is not working out as well as I was hoping. So fill, pick that up, put that one there, put that there, get a little line, fix up this little mess that you made, and we'll get some orange. We'll put that over the top of that one. That's beautiful. That's my spaceship, and we still have got that blue. Who cares? All right, so we've got our space player, and then we're going to go and we're going to make a new one, and this one is going to be enemy, and we'll change the name to enemy 1. We're not going to spend all day making the guide still on. I'm not going to go over the top of that because the thing is, I went through and I've been testing out the undo and redo options, but I forgot about these sort of one-off things. I thought they were fine, but apparently I was wrong. So we will delete that. Delete the old school flood fill way, which I'm pretty sure does work fine. All right, and then we'll do another polygon. We're going to change that to black. The workspace stuff doesn't work, unfortunately. It's another thing I have to quickly change. And we're going to make them green. All right, and then we're going to change that mode. All right, I've made it the way that I don't understand. So instead of doing what I should have done. All right. If I move it up, does it work fine? I haven't tested. It does work fine. All right. But they're not going to be a triangle that sits over there. They're going to be a spooky monster. Maybe we can get that error to come up again. Did I get an error? No, I just got some more random stuff. So at some point there's going to be anchors, so you can have points that are anchor points so that they can be shared amongst different shapes. I think that will be more that's annoying. Why does it change the one on the thing? There's something funny about this circle thing. It keeps interfering with the other shapes, which is driving me. That's the opposite way around. All right. This is getting a bit crazy. So obviously there's still a lot to go. All right, we'll use my idea about things. All right. Okay. And then I'm going to make a new one with this shape. If it changes the previous two, I'm going to be annoyed. And then, all right. That looks like an alien, I think. And then we're going to have. We better do that. We better do this thing. Add circle, which is a very big circle, and then shrink the. All right. We kind of want the alien to be easy to hit, so we'll make their circle bigger than they are. And then we'll go back to the sprite, the sprite costume, and so many. This is why this has taken so long. It's all this editor. It's just been the bane of my life, and I want the circle to be slightly smaller because I want some leniency in the hits. Okay, so now we've got our enemy, and it doesn't go back to that mode, so it doesn't show up. And then we've got that. That's a cute little enemy. All right, and then we need one more. We'll just do it quick. We have to create a new. Oh, what the heck happened now? Sorry, I'm just looking through all the stack trace. Oh, nothing happened. It's there, but it didn't show up. Okay, I should be writing these things down with my pen. I don't have a pen. Okay, I don't have a pen, and yes, I know I could type things on a computer. I'll just review. I'll just remember everything, so it'll be fine. And again, I don't care. I don't care about these errors. It's going to get a version that's published that's full of errors, because honestly, I'll be here forever. Otherwise, all right, I've run out of energy here, so we're going to make my bullet look like that's a good bullet, right? That looks like a terrible bullet. It's a very big bullet, so we're gonna change that. Oh my gosh. There's definitely some problems going on here. That's not the color choices I just had. All right, so we would just make it. Oh, I forgot to do. This is why you don't do the structured one, the unstructured one. And we can just drag that one into there, and then we can. Yeah, I'm coloring that. That's my laser bullet. We better add some circles. Add circle. Well, we'll cheat. Since we don't have anything but circle colliders, sorry, the boxes don't work. I'm going to ghost that feature out. They will work. The only problem with the boxes is just I was going to have two kinds of boxes. Ones that rotate with the shape and ones that are fixed orientation. This is not a problem with circles. Circles, they do rotate with the shape, their position, but they don't rotate their orientation because they're circles. And I was going to do the same thing with the squares, just because I wanted to be able to copy this structure of hitting things into Scratch export, and I didn't want to have too complicated. So having concave general polygons is probably not going to happen for Scratch export, but I wanted some things that will work for the Scratch export. Anyway, we have to change the name. Player bullet. It's taken me 27 minutes just to draw some pictures, so player bullet. Okay, so player bullet, start frame. All right, so we're not going to do anything. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to the scripts, and we will go. We're going to make a message first. So we're going to have message start setup game. Setup wave message. All right, we'll do that. We'll have setup wave. So on setup wave. We are going to delete. Maybe that should be destroy. That's just simply because I want to make absolutely sure on any previous things on setup wave. Okay, let's make some global variables first. Int score equals 0. What else should we have? Int enemies remaining equals 0. Right. Int we're just gonna I want these to be constants, but you can't actually say that they're constants, but we'll say enemy rows. No, we won't do that. We'll do them as variables, even though it doesn't make any difference. Enemy rows. So there's going to be 3 rows of enemies, and there's going to be we'll just say that there's 6 per row. Int enemies. We won't do that. Enemy box width equals well, it's going to be 300, so we're going to make it 200 pixels across. Int row spacing equals, I don't know, 20, 30, 30 enemy. Actually, we won't bother with that. We'll just put it in there. You'll see what I mean in a second. All right, set up wave. All right, count equals colon col, I can't bother with that, equals 0. All right, these are just working variables since we don't have local variables yet. One day, hopefully soon, because that's going to be something I'm going to focus on after I've got it released. All right, so oh, I've got all these things. All right. So row equals 0, col equals while row is less than enemy rows. I like having local variables. Int current x. Alright, equals current x, blah blah blah. Alright, so current x equals start x equals minus, what's it going to be? I'm going to guess here. Minus 150. So one thing I really would like is 300, no, it's 400 across, isn't it? It's 480 across. So we'll go there, and then we'll have, and it's going to be about 100. So we'll go, it's 150. 150. Oh, I have a message. Sorry, excuse me. What was I going to say? Yeah, so one thing I would like, we're going to go through things that I would like in this, and then I'm going to add on, is in the layout, is to be able to put in marker points. So I should be able to say, have a marker point over in the corner. So that would be enemy start position, right? And then I would be able to refer to, that would basically be some sort of global variable. And then I could say enemy start position, enemy start.x and enemy start.y. And that would be coming from the layout on the basic layout. So I would have these markers that I could then move around without having to guess what they might be. So what I'm trying to do is saying, well, the enemy is going to stay here, and then I'm going to fill in the rows going across. All right. So current x equals copy. So unfortunately, no code completion yet, but we'll get there. We will get there if people support me and give me money. Then this thing will get finished. There's a lot of stuff under the hood that's being done. So a lot of these things that seem like, oh my gosh, you haven't gotten those yet, those are actually relatively easy. But what I really need is people to be enthusiastic about it. All right, so we'll go new enemy. What did I call it? Enemy or enemy one? New enemy. I'm going to change their name so that they're enemy. Shouldn't really be called variable. It should be called class name, I think. Enemy one. And we'll go current X, current Y. And we'll come back and we'll quickly jump over to here. And we'll go constructor. In X and Y. Go X, Y, X, Y. Show just in case I forget to, I don't want the things to show up at any particular point. So the poor little default enemy isn't actually going to be used for anything. Again, at some point there'll be prefab sprites, so there'll be sprites that don't actually get included. So like Scratch has this problem where everything has to be in the scene, basically, and is always there, even if you're doing the trick where you're only working with clones. You've still got the original floating around there, which is not that cool. We might actually, so count equals 0. We might just chuck in count. At my index, just so that I have a way of I'm going to do my trick where I normally program where I put an underscore after the local variables. All right, okay. That could come in handy later on, so it's nice to. All right, so now we've got to adjust. So this is where, so first off, I wanted to do a calculation. Int spacing. Okay, so I'm just doing this generally so that I could change these. Of course, I could calculate that at a different time. Divided by how many there are per rows, enemy rows. Probably should be enemy row count, but who cares? Oh, I don't really need all of. So there are a few other little features. These things here, you can actually switch them around, and you can go left or right. So you can do a degree of reorientating the layout, by the way, which is I'm going to leave for now to be a little known feature that because at some point I want it that you can fully redefine and drag things around, but that's not built into JavaFX, so I either have to use a library or I have to so that's not going to be correct because I want the width and then I want them to be spaced out, so that's going to be the enemy rows divided -1. You can do that. You can do what I'm doing, the maths in your head. All right. Right, column X. Oh no, I don't have to do that. That's exactly what this row and thing is variable, right? Okay. While col equals 0. So this is like, we can put in some comments. Create row. So to create a row of enemies, we're going to start from the first one, and then we're just going to go through a little loop, and we're going to create them. So so we're going to start, they're all going to be at the same x position. So current x plus equals spacing. And we're going to do that loop, and then we're going to create one row, and then we're going to add current y plus equal, and I had a name for that variable, which is the row. Like that it's very confusing, isn't it? Like, is it the row spacing, the spacing between items in a row, or is it the spacing between individual rows? But anyway, so we're going to change the y by the row spacing, and then we're going to do that. So then we have now created things. We might want to test this. We'll just say flag broadcast setup wave. And we'll save it, and it's probably going to little videos Space Invaders.gtr. All right, is it going to work? Enemies cannot find assigned values. All right, so my index. Why not? This my index equals my index. This my index. Did I spell this wrong? Maybe. No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't like underscores. Given index. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit confused about this error. Cannot find assigned values. Cannot be assigned values. Why can it not be assigned? Oh, that's a bit of a worry. Oh no, a bug. Okay, it should have worked out that that's an app variable. That's a pain. Okay, so what did we get? we got some at the top, right? That's not where I wanted them to be. So what we can do is we can go down, and we can go back to the script. And then we can go print new enemy current x current y, and then we can go how does this not actually continue for, oh my gosh. This is what you get when you use this thing. It's actually Alright, forgot to add those things on. In a normal tool, it would just go into an infinite loop and you'd never see it, but it's actually in an infinite loop, but it's still doing stuff, I guess. New enemy. So we've got them. New enemy at -200, and then at 0, and then at that. So we've got 6 per line. And then we're going to go down and we're going to create 6 more, but for some reason we can't see the other ones. So why? Alright, well then we will check out what the enemy thinks we're doing. So what does the enemy think we're getting? Go to XY. Oh, we haven't changed that. We haven't changed the count either. Print constructing enemy x y given index. Constructing enemy blah 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 blah. Oh, because it's going up the screen. Oh, I've got you. This is the thing, okay, another problem, and this has nothing to do with this tool. This is to do with how my brain thinks as a computer programmer. And that is, we can fix this, is that when you're a computer programmer, normally you think that X starts at the top of the screen and goes down the screen. So larger values of X make you go down the screen. Larger values of Y make you go down the screen, and lower values of X, Y make you go up the screen. But that's not the case in Scratch. So I've copied Scratch, and I think that's the way modern tools work, is that they have a math style where you have Y going up the page. So that's a problem. So if we do that, and they're all there, we're going to have to do that in a they're kind of to the wrong side. All right, so we can adjust a few things. First thing we're going to do is that the start thing is going to be minus 300, and we're going to decrease the spacing. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to decrease the spacing even more. And that's the wrong spacing I'm decreasing, so that's a waste of time. And we're going to say, what's the box width? The box width is 200. So why have I got my maths wrong? What's the spacing? We don't need the enemy thing. So spacing is 100. How did I get 100 out of this? Oh, it's oh my gosh. It's enemy coals. What the heck happened there? Well, the box width has to be 350. So this is something to write home to the family about. What have I done wrong? So we current X, and then we create it at the current X, and then we increase the value. And then once we've done a full column, let's just test this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are not on the same line. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, my brain's not ready for this today. First off, why are the counts? Why? Have I got a bug in my constructor code? Because it looks like I do. Because you should be constructing. Oh, I think there must be. But why? Right, so if I print this out. Oh. So the count goes through, and then it constructs the enemy at the wrong position. It's constructing the enemy at the next. The first one doesn't get constructed. But then it goes through. I think this has got to be something, another error with the constructor. This worked all fine before. Mind you, I didn't really test it out again. We're gonna skip that. So I haven't got running out of time here. So yeah, there must be something wrong with the constructor, because what I'm calling it with is not the values. So somehow, so what it normally does is, I suspect this will actually work fine in the exports. So we will come back to it, but what we will do is we will go to scripts and then we'll say on start level, which we haven't defined yet. Right, we're going to move. We're going to have a few more things in this stage. We're going to have message start level. And we're going to have boolean move left. Okay, so we'll go here. Okay. Right, we also need one more thing, don't we? This is probably the worst game to pick because it's going to take several goes. So we're going to, this is just stuff, enemy movement. Two. Cough, cough, cough. We'll just go forever. Sprite X. I don't know if minus equals works, but we're gonna hope it does. Okay. Right order. So we're just going to create some code, and I will explain it in a second. So the left border and the right border, again, this is where markers will come in handy. So we'll go back to our stage. So we're going to have another message, which is side hit. That's for when the enemies hit the side, and that's going to handle all the moving the code, making them move down a bit. I feel like and down count. And int left border equals minus 400. No, 200. No, 230. And right border. Okay. All right, so the idea is we're going to move right. So if the current thing is move right, but we're going to say one other thing. What do they call the variable? They called the variable left border down count. All right. So scripts if down count is greater than 0, Alright, so if the down count variable, which is not being set to anything, is greater than 0, first off, we'll just do move right equals not move right. Okay. So the idea is this is going to be used for when the sprite is going to be moving down. So the enemies are going to move across the screen. They're going to hit when the first one hits the wall. They're going to go into moving down mode, and then they're going to move back this way. And I'm doing the check here. So if this is the first sprite to reach the wall, then they're going to change their direction and they're going to move backwards. I think this is probably going to create some odd behavior. So I might we'll see. What I think is going to happen is that the sprites are going to get out of sync. I mean, the enemies are going to get out of sync. We have made a bug here. What have we got? Dump stack. Error. Sorry, I'm looking through the system output. And runtime exception, unknown variable index. At the runtime. Block 15. What have I done wrong now? So obviously we've got a lot of work to get this thing. Maybe it doesn't like the no. Okay, what is causing this bug? Well, first off, none of this code actually gets done. Okay, there's something wrong with this code here. So we'll bring that back in. So this is me fixing all the bugs in this thing. So there are something's happening. We've got some constructor bugs. We've got a bug with this code. Move right. Oh, you know what I think is the problem? No, that doesn't make sense. This is use of the variable. Oh. Oh, this is getting confusing. If move right. So I think the problem here, valid usage cannot be knotted. Invalid usage cannot be knotted. Why is it trying to knot this? Yeah, not gonna lie, this is getting a bit confusing. Alright, so there's something going on here. I didn't say if not. So sometimes you just got to hack things in, I think. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So there's something wrong with my else code. No. No. Can't let go. Okay, so I don't want to do this. But it looks like we're going to have to kind of hack it. That doesn't work either. Oh, it must be this code here. Alright, this is a serious issue. Yeah, I was going to go through and pause the video, fix up the bugs, and come back later. So that was a terrible start. We're gonna fix up the bugs that I've done so far. So we've got a constructor issue. We've got something's wrong with these if statements, and it does. In fact, now it doesn't work at all. So if I get rid of that one, hold on. It does work there. What if I just say print hello? That works. And if I bring that one back in, no, it does not like me doing things directly. So it's been a while since you know what we could do? We could say go XY, sprite X plus speed, sprite Y. Does that work? Nope. Right, now it's super confusing. Alright, so I'm sure that is a relatively easy bug to fix. But we're not going off to a good start. So hopefully there will be more videos as I go through and try and work out how on earth to get this to work. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the next video will get further in this silly game. And it will be great. I had the funny feeling I'd be able to write this in just, 1 hour, and it would be amazing. But not so much. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.